Hi folks, GamerBug here again, and I am once again back with some Transformers content in the shape of a tier list where I'll be rating the box art for more Transformers toys. This time I'm going to be doing, at popular demand, something I wasn't going to do, which is the 1987 G1 toys. Now, I have to say this is somewhat the great unknown to me because my interest and my collecting stopped in 1986. The ones from 1987, not only did I wasn't interested in, I really didn't know anything about them. I didn't even know whether they existed, particularly. There maybe was one or two. That said, some of these do ring a bell while I was putting the list together, and I think that is actually based upon my most recent collecting rather than the collecting I did when I was a kid. All of that said, let's get on with what the actual ratings are so we can get on with the video. First up, Badass. This probably speaks for itself, but this is the S-Class, the top of the top. Nothing is really wrong with this. It's perfect, or as perfect as it's gonna get. This looks cool. Then there's Almost There, But. This is very close to Badass, but there's something that just pulls it away from that. It's where I don't feel it's Badass and I don't feel it's kind of middle of the road. It's just not quite there. So this is where anything that looks awesome but has a problem goes into. They tried is middle of the road. They showed up, star for participation, well done. There's nothing wrong with it and there's nothing great with it. It's fine, it's good. After that we have Meh. This was before combined into the below category, but I decided I wanted them to be separate because there were a lot of things that weren't weird, they were just kind of boring. And this is where anything that's boring, uninteresting, uninspiring goes into. Uncanny Valley is where something that's weird, something that's just a bit creepy, something that just gets you going, no, that's not right. That's where these things belong, and that's where they will go. The worst category is Ass and Bad. This is the opposite of Badass, where it's just a load of tosh. It looks awful, there's nothing redeeming about it, it's just crap. With that information firmly in our minds, let's get on with the first Transformer, and that is Abominus. This is a really good start. Now, I do have some knowledge of Abominus, and that is because I had the Power of the Primes Abominus, not the G1 toy. So the G1 toy, and if I'm perfectly honest, the characters I know nothing about. So I can't have any real biases coming in apart from the fact of whether I like that Power of the Primes toy. But I'm mainly trying to go on the box art itself. And if I'm going on the box art, this is really good. This looks big, it looks beefy, the proportions are good, it does look towering. If I had one issue with this, it's the face. The face looks a bit, uncanny might be the word, but I'm not sure it's right. Just wrong, a little bit wrong. But I don't know if it's wrong enough, because sometimes I can glance at it and it looks really good. I love the pose, I love everything about this. I think I have to put this into Badass, but it could slip when we do the shuffle at the end. But to start with, Abominus is going into Badass. Afterburner. Now, I don't know anything about this, but I believe this is another combiner, and I think this is a combiner from Computron. And again, I do not know this from G1. I know this because when I was first getting back into Transformer toys, I got Abominus, as I just mentioned, and I also got Volcanicus, and I was looking at other combiners as well, and Computron, and I forget the name of it, Victorion, tell me if I'm wrong there, were some that were actually going on Amazon for an okay price still, but I felt I couldn't shell out for them, so I didn't. Now, the other thing that put me off is I didn't actually like the look of Computron, or the things that it was combined up of. So Afterburner here, I'm going to say I know nothing about. I don't actually even know what he transforms into. So any people want to tell me? Please do. I am literally going by this picture and this picture alone. And this picture's okay. I don't hate this. It's fine. It's not super exciting, but it's not boring. It looks okay. It looks pretty good. You can see the wheel on the back. You know there's something there. Maybe this has one wheel. Maybe it's a motorbike or something. I don't know. But I actually like this. I don't think it's brilliant. I just think it's fine. So I think Afterburner here goes into They Tried. Ape Face. Now, this is a Transformer, once again, I know about because I had the Siege toy. And I have to say, I hated it. I didn't like the Siege toy at all. I can quickly go over why if anyone wants to know. A, it didn't go together very well. B, the plastic felt very cheap on it compared to all the other Siege toys. And C, I didn't like either the monkey mode and the plane mode. The robot was okay. And it's not that I think it looked rubbish, the monkey mode, it did on that toy. That said, I didn't like that toy. This picture, I like. I like this a lot. This looks freaking awesome. It's weird that it's got both modes on there, but I kind of get why it would. But yeah, the robot mode looks totally badass. I mean, absolutely kick ass. Everything about that I love. The monkey mode, the gorilla mode, whatever you want to call it, yeah, it looks alright. It looks better than the toy I had, the Siege toy does. So yeah, I like this. I think this can definitely go straight into the top of badass. Battle Trap. Now, again, I know this, but I know this from the Power of the Primes toys. This was one of the toys I bought for my kid because it looked like it was going to be a nice simple little toy so he could transform it. Actually, the toy's quite complicated to transform, being made up of two different robots. Now, what I don't understand here is why they don't show both robots, and I'm not entirely sure. Now, I've got in my head a couple of reasons. One, they just didn't want to, or two, this wasn't made up of two robots originally. Maybe it was just made up of two vehicles that made a robot. Power of the Primes one, both vehicles turn into robots and then combine. And I have to say, the combine is really nice, and the separate pieces are so they're okay. This actually looks really good from the waist up, but from the waist down, or you take it all into, it looks weird. I don't hate it though. It does completely have its crotch area missing, or it's in its guts. I like it so much that I kind of want to put it into They Tried rather than where I think it should belong, which is Uncanny Valley, because of the giant weird feet. So I'm going to put it into They Tried, but maybe at the switch around, we'll see. If anyone knows why they didn't have the robot mode, or is it just that it was two vehicles that slapped together? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Blot. One of the Terracons, and as I already said, I had all the Power of the Prime Terracons. And I liked them. And this is alright. It doesn't do much for me. It's not doing anything wrong. It's just not very interesting. I think that's the problem. When you turn into a monster, the monster's probably more interesting than the robot. And that is literally the case here. And there's virtually nothing to show that this is a monster. So I think he's kind of boring. Yeah, he's meh. He's dull. He's just not very interesting. So I'm going to put him into meh. It's just not a very inspiring picture. It's not wrong. It's just boring. Brainstorm. Okay, we've hit the first Transformer I do not know anything about. I genuinely don't know anything about this. I don't know what it transformed into. I don't know. Oh, it's an Autobot, so I'm looking at the symbol. Yeah, sure. It's Brainstorm. So we're going to go by purely the picture here. And the picture is really cool. I really like this picture. It's a cool looking Transformer. The pose is good. There's no bad proportions here. I really like this. I think this looks badass. And for that reason, Brainstorm here is going into badass. Chase. Now I have to say, I know nothing about Chase, because the only Chase I know anything about is the one from Rescue Bots, because my kids used to watch Rescue Bots. And I don't really know what this is. I think there were some mini bots there were like the jump starters and whatever Runabout. I can't remember what Runabout's title was called. I'd have to watch from the other video. I've gone blank. So maybe this is that. So these were mini Autobots that just popped up. It would make sense with the sort of look of it and the proportions. So knowing nothing about this looks kind of cliff jumpery, but it looks way better than the cliff jumper G1 picture. This looks really good. Again, apart from those massive feet, the clodhoppers on this guy are not good. But from the sort of waist up, I'll even go from the thighs up. I like it. I like it a hell of a lot. I feel like this is so kind of cool, I can't mark it down because of the giant feet. So I'm actually going to put this into almost there, but, because the but is the weird feet. Chrome Dome. No idea what this is either. If anyone has any info about Chrome Dome, let me know. I'm trying to figure out where exactly his eyes are on this, but I think maybe the little silver bit is the eyes. He actually looks really cool. I think he looks good. He's not as interesting, I don't think. Or maybe he is. I don't know. I've got to have a good stare at this picture and go, is this badass? I think the fact I can't quite tell anything about what he turns into, probably some kind of car. Does that put him into almost there? But maybe. I think it does. I'm going to put him into almost there, but I don't think he's quite as cool as Brainstorm, was it? But I do like this. I like this a lot, and we'll see at the shuffle at the end. But I think Chrome Dome here can go into almost there. But Cloud Raker, I'm guessing that their robot modes were not on the boxes, thus that's what we get. Now I know again a little bit about this because I also know about the Decepticon versions because I have them, and this it's just started raining. Apologies if you can hear rain. This is there was two. The vehicle modes are different, I believe, but the robots look like almost twins, which is very clever, I think. And I think this is one of those. As I don't have the robot to go on here, I am going to base it upon this picture. And I really like it. It looks badass. It looks really cool. It looks like a slick spaceship, space plane, whatever. I don't know what you want to call it, but it looks badass. I really like this picture. So yeah, Cloud Raker's going into badass. I'm going to put him at the bottom because it's not a robot mode, but he's going into badass. Computron. This is a combiner, that I know. And I don't like this picture as much as I did Abominus. I think it's the head that really throws this. It's got that weird big nose, almost like fake glasses disguise look thing going on that I don't like on Transformers. It's the only thing wrong with it is that head. I like everything else about it. I like the fact you can really see the vehicles on it, even though I know the vehicles are probably stupid spacey vehicles. But that's all I don't like about this is the face, but I don't like the face. I think I'm going to put it in almost there, but because it's not quite enough to go into Uncanny Valley. So Computron, yeah, you're going into almost there, but I'm putting him at the bottom. Crosshairs. Now, don't know anything about this. However, I have seen the most recent version of this, which was a retool of Siege Ironhide, which was a fine figure. This is not interesting at all. I don't like the head, and the gun is massive. Why is the gun? Oh, I wonder if this is the Target Masters, were they called? I remember that being a thing. Is that why the gun's so huge? I don't know anything about Crosshairs, and this picture is uninspiring and uninteresting, and I think for that reason he's going into meh. Cutthroat. Another one of the Terracons, so another one that I know, and my god, the rain's coming down. I don't like this picture at all. I'm going to go straight in there because of one thing, but that one thing is creeping me out, and it is 100% the face. The face on this looks really, really crappy. It looks like a child's face, but evil. And the weird smile, this is called Cutthroat. And maybe they're trying to go for that evil look, but it's not. It's just creepy. It's just... And the way the head is and the way it's turning, it looks like it's been slapped on there. It doesn't even look like it belongs on this robot. This makes this really uncanny. Makes it very creepy, and I don't like it. So for that reason, Cutthroat here is going into Uncanny Valley. Double Cross. Now, I've seen this before. I think it was Robots in Disguise 2015. I think there was a toy of this as well. I'm sure it wasn't called Double Cross, unless it was just a palette swap, which often happens. If there is another name for this, do let me know. Looking at this, I feel it looks a little bit what I'm going to call an upside down version of Sinatwin, who had dragon heads on his feet. This has them on his hands. But you know what? I don't dislike this. It's weird. It is weird, the gun being held by the dragon mouth. And I'm not sure how much use he would be for anything, but it is funky. And I guess the only thing I don't like about it is I think the proportions look a little bit odd. But this one definitely goes into almost their butt, and I think it goes quite high. So yeah, Double Cross goes into almost their butt. Fastlane. This is the other one of those twin robot things, I think. And this one turns into a shoe with wheels. This doesn't look cool. This doesn't look interesting. This is just phoned in. Maybe if I could see the other wheels, but this just looks like it's got two wheels on the back and then the front just drags around. The back half of it looks like a sort of Formula One car. I quite like that, but the front just looks like two legs. I don't think this is a good picture at all. I think this is the first one that has to go into ass and bad because it's just looks like a lazy vehicle mode. So ass and bad for Fastlane here. Flywheels. I've seen this before. Did this have a different name in Siege? I don't know. And also this does just have a plane, I think, and a tank that slaps together to make the robot. I might be wrong on that. So maybe that was true of Battletrap originally. I don't know. Skytread. That's what it was called, I think, Skytread. If it was, let me know in the comments. Anyway, don't know anything about this at all. I wasn't interested in Skytread, Flywheels, whatever it was called in Siege. And this doesn't interest me either. It's fairly boring. The head's weird looking. It's got that too human look to it. He just looks like a guy with sunglasses on and a helmet. Then there's a metal body. It looks too squat. It looks weird. It doesn't have that cool factor that I think that Battletrap had. And so I think this goes into meh for me. It's not terrible. It's just not interesting. Fortress Maximus. You know, I didn't even know this thing existed until I restarted collecting Transformers. The only base I knew of was Triptychon and Metroplex. So this is one of those ones people go, Fortress Maximus is amazing. And I'm like, I don't really know anything about it. I have to say, I think this does a really good job of showing scale. It does look massive. I think it's because the guns look like turrets, and thus turrets tend to be bigger, and thus it makes the robot look bigger. He does look imposing, and he does look very good. The human face is not too bad on this one. It's got robot enough features. The way the guns stick up is weird, but you can also see how they flop down. But actually, regardless, I think this is almost there, but I don't think it's as cool as Badass, but I do like it, and I think Fortress Maximus goes into almost there, but Freeway. So this is another one of those, I don't remember the name, it will come to me. And yeah, I don't like this one at all. How did I like the other one so much and not this? Why does his face look like a boat with an old man? I don't know. I don't know what I'm describing here, but it looks kind of naff. And obviously the giant feet are stupid, but the coolness of the upper body on Chase, I'm trying to remember the name, Chase, looked good. This doesn't look good. This looks stupid. This looks rubbish. This goes into, without a shadow of a doubt, ass and bad. Goldbug. And straight after the last one of these, we have Goldbug. And Goldbug here looks badass again. He looks really cool. Not good. He can't go into badass because he's got entirely too much wrong with him, and there's two things wrong with him are those giant feet. But the upper body again looks bloody awesome. It blows the G1 picture of Bumblebee out of the water. And yeah, I like this. Again, not a character I know anything about. And I did have the gold bug, I think it was, came with, maybe it wasn't gold bug. One came with a 4-pack or 5-pack, and it had like, ransack in it. So I ended up selling everything, and I sold this as well. Part of me wishes maybe I'd kept it, but the other part of me is like, meh, it doesn't matter. But I like this. I think it looks really cool. I think this could go into almost their butt, with the feet being the butt. That sounds really wrong, although his feet actually do look like a butt. But maybe I'm being kind. But let's be kind. Let's jump Goldberg into... Goldberg? Okay, we've just gone wrestling. Goldberg into almost their butt. Grotesque. Don't know anything about this. I don't know why it's called Grotesque. I don't even know if this is an Autobot or a Decepticon because I can't see an emblem anywhere. I have to say, for the name Grotesque, I'm assuming it's something monstery. Is it like the Terracons? I don't know. It's definitely not a Terracon because I had all of those. So I don't really know what this is. It's fine. I don't dislike this. I think it looks quite cool. It's not super cool, but it's fine. I think for something called Grotesque, the face is very friendly looking. But it's all right. If anyone knows anything about Grotesque, please let me know in the comments. But I don't even know what this transforms into. I really have no idea. Does it look good? Yeah, I like it. I don't think it's almost there, but I think it's they tried. But it's good. Hardhead. Couldn't tell you anything about this one either. Looks like it turns into a tank, so that's a good sign. I can see what it turns into. It's got obviously a turret looking on its shoulder. It's got tank tread, so it turns into a tank. I don't like the face on this. That really puts me off. It's kind of weird looking. It makes him look like he's got a big chin. Other than that, there's no real problems with this. I think this definitely goes into... Does it go into almost there, but... I need to think about this for a second. Yeah, you know what it does. I think this goes into almost there, but it's interesting how many quite cool looking ones based upon the box art there were in 1987. But yeah, okay, Hardhead, you can go into almost there, but I think I'm going to put them lower because it's not inspiring to me. Highbrow. Don't know anything about this either. Once again, is this a Decepticon? Is this an Autobot? I'm looking for logos. I can't see them. Legs look a bit stumpy and short, and the feet look dull, if I'm perfectly honest. Head's too big. There's just too much going on up there on that head. Guns are kind of fine. The rest of it's fine. I'd say this is kind of boring, and it doesn't inspire me. I think it goes into meh because it is. It's just nothing about me excites me at all. So yeah, this goes into meh. And again, know nothing about him. So if anyone does, let me know in the comments. Hunger. Rain's coming down again. So Hunger here is a figure I had. He was Power of the Primes. That's what I had. And it was a good figure. What I didn't like about Hunger was his legs were a bit spindly, but he was a good solid figure, and as a combiner part he was really good. This is fine. He didn't have a shield because it was built into his chest on the original, unless maybe it was, maybe that's what those holes are for. I have a problem with this looking small, which he doesn't look in Power of the Primes, and the face is kind of nice and smiley. I don't like that for Hunger either. Yeah, it's not great. It doesn't inspire any. I don't even get the dragon feet kind of thing going off. So this is meh. This is sort of not very interesting at all. It just doesn't work. So yeah, meh. Lightspeed. Is this one of the Computron ones again? I'm going to say yes. And it's boring. This is a boring picture. And that's the problem, I think, especially when you have space vehicles, because it means that the characters are often boring. And this is boring. Yeah, nothing interesting about this at all. It's not doing anything wrong. It's not a rubbish picture. It's just dull. So yeah, Lightspeed definitely goes into meh. Mind Wipe. I'm going to go with this as a Decepticon, but I'm probably wrong on that. I like this picture. You know what? I think he looks cool. He looks like a bat. I'm assuming maybe he turns into a bat. They're definitely bat wings. Maybe he turns into a dragon. I think probably a bat's more likely. All things being considered though, yeah, it's pretty cool. I think the proportions are a little bit odd. So I don't think you can go into almost their butt, because the head's a little bit weird looking to me as well. But I think it's a decent picture, and I think this definitely belongs in They Tried, and I think I'm going to put it at the top. Misfire. They really struggled with names, didn't they, after a while? Now, is this a Target Master again? Because I'm checking out the double-barreled big gun thing. And if it is, a Target Master called Misfire is a really stupid name. And I have to be honest, I do not like this picture. Maybe this turns into some kind of plane thing, because I can see some possible wings. I hate the face. It looks like it's too human, but then blocky. A big nose, a giant chin. It's boring and uninspiring. I don't like this at all. I'm afraid Misfire has misfired and goes into ass and bad. Nose cone. I am guessing, and I'm doing this purely by the head, this is another Computron one. And I'm thinking Matt's Computron. Is this a drill? There was a drill on him, isn't there? It's more interesting than the last one, which I've forgotten the name of. That's how boring he was. It has more to it. You can see the tracks. It still looks weird and squat. But yeah, overriding, I think this is more interesting. I don't see anything particularly wrong with this. So I feel this one actually goes into They Tried. I think it's got more about it, more pizzazz. So this is going into They Tried. Overkill. I don't know what this is, but this looks absolutely awesome. I mean, it's a dinosaur with a spike on his nose. And what does this turn into? I don't know, but it looks awesome. I love it. This is brilliant. Anyone know anything about this? Because I don't. Is it a Dinobot? Is it a Decepticon? Is it? I really don't know. But I love this. I absolutely love this. And yeah, this is definitely going to badass without a shadow of a doubt. Point Blank. I again know nothing about this. I know this was released as part of some of the more modern Transformers, and I think it got slated. And this looks better than what I recall that figure looking on its releases it got. Is this another Target Master because of the big gun? I don't know. It's not a good picture, is it though? I mean, the head looks weird. The massive shoulder pads are stupid. It's not a good picture at all. I mean, this, I would definitely say this is just ass and bad. I don't like anything about this at all. Nah, ass and bad for this one. Pounce. This is another one I know something about because my son owns this. He's really into anything creature-ish. So he loves Pokemon and he loves Bakugan and he loves any of those kind of things. So I bought him a Transformer here that turned into a robot and a creature, and I thought it would be the same with the Terracons and the Dinobots, and he really wasn't interested in them. I swear if they turned from a creature into a car, he'd be happier. Now this is all that's on the box art. I know this turns into a robot. I know they turn into twin robots with his counterpart. I love this picture. This is another brilliant picture. He looks absolutely slick as hell. And though I know nothing about the character, this is badass. This is going into badass. Punch and counterpunch. Or punch counterpunch? I don't know how this is done. I've seen this name thrown around an awful lot in the sort of forums and things like that I draw through. I think it's a spy, from what I gather. I'm assuming like one side of him is one transformer and one side is the other. I am guessing. I don't know if this is a target master with the big double barrel thing or not. I don't know anything about this. What I do know is I really, really like the top picture, and the bottom picture is kinda cool. The bottom one looks a lot like Point Blank with the weird shoulder pads, and the way the arms are is freaky. But the top one is insanely cool. I'm just going on this picture. So the bottom one's cool, but with weird like arms. The top one is bad as you like. Absolutely cool. Because I'm looking at both of them though, I think this has to go into almost their butt, because the bottom one throws me a bit. I do love it. I do think it's really cool, but I think it has to go into almost their butt. It's going at the top though. Repugnus. Now, I think my son might have a tiny, they're called Titan Masters, I think, that's called Repugnus. So this must have something to do with that. I don't know what it turns into. I see what I'm going to call beetle pincers. Maybe it turns into a beetle. The one he's got though looks like it just turns into an alien, for want of a better word. I don't know. I don't know what this is meant to be. It looks weird. The pose is all right. The gist of it is all right, but that face is so goddamn creepy. It's unbelievable. It's way too human looking, but then like there's no soul to it. Like, ugh. I don't know what Repugnus is, but it's quite repugnant, and I think Repugnus is going to go into Uncanny Valley. Ripper Snapper. And oh my god. What the actual hell? Having owned Ripper Snapper for Power of the Primes, he's not a bad figure. I actually liked him a lot. And he looks way better than this thing that basically looks like he's got a shark hanging out on the back of him. And yes, he kind of did, but for some reason it didn't look this trash on the actual figure. Now, the G1 figure may have looked like this, but this genuinely looks like a guy who's giving a piggyback to a shark. And it looks stupid. I mean, really stupid. It is hilariously bad. I do not like anything about this, and it definitely goes into ass and bad. Roll bar. This again must be another one of those throttle bots. I got it. Throttle bots. The throttle bot. Yeah, you pulled them. Yes. I'm sure you ever pulled back. Were they pulled back? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Throttle bots. I'm sure they were called throttle bots. Watch them not be called throttle bots and be called something completely different, and they whatever. These are a mixed bag, and this is very much a mixed bag. Now, obviously, this is some sort of Jeep. I do like the head. It has very Viking qualities to it. I don't like the feet once again, and the upper body isn't that exciting. I don't think this is almost their butt. I think this, I'm going to put into they tried, but this one could easily go into Uncanny Valley because of the giant feet, because I haven't done that to any others because of the giant feet. What we're really rating here more than anything, we know the feet are downside and can't put them into the top for that. It's the upper body, and I think the upper body puts this guy into they tried. Scattershot. Don't know anything about this dude. I'm trying to draw from memory of what he might be or who he might be. Color scheme wise, maybe something to do with Computron. Is he like the main part of Computron? I genuinely don't know. What I will say is, this is really, really boring. This is so boring, it's unbelievable. I couldn't tell you what this turns into. I couldn't tell you anything about him. He's not ass. I don't think it's a terrible thing. The face is alright, I suppose. It's just boring. This is so boring. So Scattershot, whoever you are very boring, and you go into meh. Searchlight. Another throttle bot, I'm going to call them now, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to sound like an idiot. I like this one again. Why do I like this one? I don't know. It's the head. I think the head makes a difference. How they're stood somewhat, I don't know. Again, you go from the thighs upwards. Looks really, really good. And I don't know why. I think I like this one even more because of the lights on the front. Makes it like a rally car of some description. So yeah, this one definitely also goes into almost there but, because if it wasn't for that, I'd think this was brilliant. So almost there but. Sinner Twin. Another Terracon with another stupid head. I don't really like anything about the picture itself. I think it's kind of meh. But then that actual creepy ass head, worrying. And the way it's like, it looks like someone's chopped a head off and pasted it on. And it just creeps me out. And this guy definitely is going into Uncanny Valley as well. I do love the Power of the Primes toy, bit gappy. And I like the idea of what it turns into, which I think is the double-headed kind of cat thing. I don't know, Hydra, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, no, this goes into Uncanny Valley without a shadow of a doubt. Six Shot. Yep, that's Six Shot, all right. Whoever Six Shot is, that is him. What I will say is, he looks freaking awesome. That just looks like badass personified. It's absolutely cool as hell. If I had one issue, I don't know if it's enough to not have him go into badass. It's the proportions on the lower body, like the legs downwards, are weird. And this should be longer. But you know what? I don't think that can stop it. So this character, who I know nothing about, goes into badass. Scorponok. Now this I had as the was it Earthrise Scorponok was part of? I'm trying to remember. I had him anyway. And I don't have him anymore because I sold him because I only wanted to collect up to 1986 and this was a 1987 figure. So had him, really good figure, must say, really, really good figure, but just took up too much room and you know, I'm hoping I can get my hands on some point Tripticon and Metroplex, and that's my Titans along with Omega Supreme. This is not a good picture. This is weird. It doesn't look like a towering monstrosity. It looks like a worried witch woman in the face, and the body's just looks like a normal Transformer. I don't think it's ass and bad. I don't think it's that level of terrible. I think the head, however, makes it look just totally creepy. Any other head, this would probably go into they tried. It's not boring and it's not totally trash, but it is creepy. So I'm afraid Scorponok here has to go into Uncanny Valley. Skull Cruncher. Yeah, sure, I don't know anything about this either. Not loving it. Not loving this at all particularly. The head looks massive, like he's got hair. It almost looks like he's got a really big perm and sunglasses on. And the only person I know with a big perm kind of hair or whatever and sunglasses that this is now reminding me of, oh, is it Gene Simmons from Kiss? It looks like him. And no, I don't like this at all. This is crap. This is just not a good picture. I'm sorry, this goes into ass and bad. Slugfest. I do not know what this is either, just like Overkill. But this is also just like Overkill. Bloody amazing, this looks awesome. However, I'm just looking at this now. Is this a cassette tape? Did Soundwave get more cassette tapes? This looks cool. This looks absolutely brilliant. And it does. And the way the head flips back and the tail flips over, that's a cassette tape, especially the way the blasters are plugged in the side. Does that mean Overkill was a cassette tape as well? Oh my God, I really want these now. Oh yeah. Yes, please. This is cool as hell. You know what this reminds me of? I had a Zoid. And it reminds me of that a bit as well. And yeah, this looks very Zoid-like, and I think Overkill does too. Zoids and Transformers together? Oh yes, that's cool. Loving this. Think it's awesome. Totally badass. Yes, please. Slug Slinger. I assume they mean as in slug as in a bullet, not slug as in the creature. But this is boring. It's got the weird two human face. It's very meh. I assume it turns into a plane because it's got wings and I guess they're kind of exhaust ports on the feet. Don't know anything about this. Just think he's boring. As a matter of fact, just a glance, it just looks like a guy in a suit, like a robot suit. And yeah, it's just, nah, I don't know what this is. Some of you may love this guy. I don't know who he is. He's boring. He's going into there. Snapdragon. Now, this I'm assuming is like Ape Face, kind of a triple changer. And I didn't buy this one. Obviously, I think there was a newer release in one of the lines. I can't remember which one it was. Maybe it was Siege, maybe it was Earthrise. It's a cool picture. I don't like the head as much as I do Ape Face. But it's a slight niggle. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. I think he looks pretty damned cool. Whoever drew these two really sort of knocked it out of the park in the looks. This one does go into badass, but I don't think it goes near the top just because it just doesn't. As soon as I saw it, it didn't make me go, whoa. The more I look at it, I do think cool. And yeah, I mean, like I say, it's just the head's a bit odd, but yeah, I like it. So yeah, it's going into badass. Strafe. No idea. I'm guessing again because of the blockiness and the colours. Computron. Boring was probably the word I would use. It's not trash. It's not uncanny. It's just boring. And the Superman pose is odd. But I mean, yeah, this invokes absolute boredom, absolute just ambivalence from me. So yeah, I think this one has to go immediately into meh. Sure Shot. Well, at least he's not Misfire. But like Misfire, it's an uninteresting picture. I don't think it's as naff because the face is a bit better. It's not uncanny. It's not terrible. It's not interesting. It's weird because I'm looking at the list and I have got a lot in badass from these box arts. But there's also a lot in meh. Yeah, this is just another one. This is that thing about the spacey vehicles, the future vehicles. There's just nothing about them interesting. So yeah, you're going into meh. Blur. Now it's weird that I've got Blur up again and I've realised it's because there is something different about them. They changed the picture because they made them target masters. And I can see that what they've changed in this picture is he has a gun that's been photoshopped, obviously not photoshopped, didn't exist back in the day, into his hand. And it looks even twattier than it did before. He looks worse than he did. I'm not even going to put him in Uncanny Valley because Uncanny Valley means there's something about him that's creepy. This isn't that. They took an uncanny picture and made it even worse. This is pure crap. This goes to the bottom of ass and bad. Cyclonus. Again, same as it was with Blur, was very uncanny in my last video where I did it, and now they've photoshopped a different gun into his hand. The only difference is the gun doesn't look as egregiously bad here, so he is still just absolutely nightmare fuel creepiness. So he goes into Uncanny Valley. Hot Rod. I liked this picture before, and suddenly putting the dumbest photoshopped flat-nosed gun in his hand has totally changed my view of this picture. It's amazing how something can do that. But it really changes the dynamic totally of this picture and it makes it look creepy as hell in his face. How's that happened? But unfortunately, it's not creepy enough to be uncanny. But what it is enough to make it absolutely crap. That gun ruins this picture. It's not almost there, but this ruins the picture because it's so badly done. So yeah, if he didn't have the gun in his hand, I'd put him in almost there, but he has got that gun in his hand. We are rating that box art ass and bad. Cup. Well, I hated him before. That stupid Photoshop gun, makes it even worse. I don't like it. It looks stupid. It looks crap. Yeah, I got nothing more to say. I wasn't expecting these to be in here, then I realised I must have put them on the list. So, yeah, Target Master Cup. Yeah, ass and bad. Oh, I forgot Scourge as well. They made a Target Master of him, did they? Let's take quite possibly the worst picture of a character and then Photoshop poorly. Again, I keep saying Photoshop because I'm so used to saying it, but obviously it would have been just drawn in. That is the worst picture I have seen today, because it was already the worst picture and they've made it worse. You get out of my view, you disgusting crappy thing. Ass and bad. Trigger happy. Is this a Target Master as well? I don't know. What it does look like is a man wearing a robot romper suit in a very odd position with a bright red face. Don't like this at all. This is just naff. It's almost uncanny because it really does look like he's wearing a romper suit. It's like, yeah, it looks a bit paunchy and nah, this is not good. This is ass and bad. I don't know anything about the character. I couldn't tell you anything at all, but I don't like it, and it is ass and bad, and it belongs there. Wide load. God, that's actually his name. Nah, this one doesn't work, does it? Is this meant to be a dump truck? Of all the things to make into a dump truck, you take a tiny mini-bot? The feet look stupid. The face, what is going on? He looks like a baboon's arse. And then he's just wearing a hat. And I hate this. I hate this a lot. This is absolute crap. Yeah, no, this is ass and bad as well. This isn't good for the last few characters, is it? Oh, well, ass and bad for you. Weird Wolf. I don't hate this. I don't like the red face. It looks odd. And again, like the Gene Simmons dude, he looks like he's got a lot of hair for some reason. But this does look more like a robot. The gun looks fine. I do like the cool knife. The pose is a little bit odd. I have no idea what this guy turns into. A weird wolf, maybe? I don't know. And that's another problem. There's no hint of what this guy might turn into, and it makes them uninteresting. I think he's got a bit of coolness going on about him that allows me to put him into They Tried. So I'm going to do that. But yeah. So They Tried for Weird Wolf. Wingspan. Okay, you know how I really like whatever Pounce, was it? I'm not as big a fan of this. I think it's how the mouth's been done more than anything else. And then it looks like it's wearing shoes. Actual shoes. It looks like he's in pain. I can see what they were going for. I think he goes into They Tried, but only just, and I'm being nice to it. But yeah, Pounce absolutely destroys it picture-wise compared to this. And I have to say, just a quick point, I got the newer version of this. I think it was a Generation Select or something toy. And it transforms really badly as well. It just doesn't hold together. There's no, like, doesn't clip into itself almost. But anyway, Wingspan here, nah, They Tried. That seems fair. Okay, so we've done our list, and I felt towards the end I was being quite harsh on everybody, but the pictures did seem to get worse. And obviously some of those were the Target Masters that were based upon 1986s. So you could argue if I didn't put them in this list, less might be in some of the areas. But that's it. This is the total list. If you disagree with me, let me know. If there's things about these that I should be knowing, also let me know. And if you know what some of them turned into that I have no idea about, please do let me know in the comments. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. It was interesting to go through Transformers I don't really know much about, although I think I've been spoilt with Siege onwards with some of the re-releases here, and obviously somewhat Power of the Primes when I first started to collect them. If you did like this video, I'd very much like it if you could leave me a like, and subscribing helps me bring more of this content, so please do consider that as well. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will be back with more Transformers content soon. And until next time, as always, GamerbugUK out.